Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York. My name is Nova Copeland, and my pronouns are he, him. And I am your worship associate for today's service, alongside our minister, Reverend Christin Green. Today's service will involve our annual Stardust blessing for all ages. Children and youth are always welcome to remain in the sanctuary with their families during the service. For families with very young children who would like childcare, our nursery is also staffed and available downstairs. We welcome a special guest this morning from our Share the Plate partner for the month of June. I now invite Jonathan Rodriguez-Baez from Planned Parenthood Keystone to come forward and share a brief word with us.
Morning, everyone. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you so much, Nova. Thank you so much, Reverend Green. My name is Jonathan Rodriguez. My pronouns are he and él when speaking in Spanish, and I'm the manager of bilingual education at Planned Parenthood Keystone. I come all the way from Berks County. So thank you for having me, by the way. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for your support of Planned Parenthood Keystone. It is an honor to join you during Pride Month, especially during a time where we are celebrating the resilience, the joy, the diversity, and the fight for equal rights of LGBTQ+ people, while also reflecting on the work that remains to ensure that everyone can live authentically and with dignity. Many people know Planned Parenthood because of one particular service, but the reality is that we provide a wide range of healthcare services and educational programs that support people through their lives. At Planned Parenthood Keystone, we offer birth control, STI testing and screening, cancer screenings, breast exams, menopause care, pregnancy testing, abortion care, and gender-affirming hormone therapy for transgender, non-binary, and gender-expansive people. We also provide comprehensive sexuality education for people of all ages and trainings for schools, organizations, and community groups. Some of us are also proud OWL facilitators, so yay. So every day we serve people from different backgrounds, faiths, identities, and life experiences who are simply looking for quality healthcare, trusted information, and compassionate care. During Pride Month, let's celebrate the importance of affirming healthcare for LGBTQ+ communities. For many queer individuals, healthcare has not always been a welcoming experience. Some have delayed care because they fear discrimination. Others have struggled to find providers who understand their identities and their experiences. Something as simple as being addressed by their correct name, having your identity respected, feeling safe asking questions about your health can make a profound difference. At Planned Parenthood, we strive to create spaces where people are respected, affirmed, and cared for exactly as they are. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've been watching the news, but that care has become more difficult to access. When we talk about healthcare policy, funding restrictions, or insurance barriers, we are ultimately talking about people. We are talking about someone receiving an STI test or having access to PEP or PrEP before an infection becomes a serious health issue. We are talking about someone getting screened for cancer and detected way before it becomes a life-threatening situation. We're talking about transgender person accessing care that allows them to live more fully as themselves. We're also talking about people making informed decisions about their health, their bodies, and their futures. This is why this work matters, and that's why your support matters too. Support does not always have to be in the form of a financial donation. If you have private insurance and you're looking for, reproductive health care, menopause care, gender-affirming care, please consider obtaining that care from Planned Parenthood Keystone. If you know someone who can benefit from those services, consider telling them about us. If you're connected to schools, if you're connected to community organizations, faith communities, invite us to provide training and education there too. Because every patient who walks through our doors, every person who attends a workshop, and every community partner who opens a space for conversations helps strengthen our ability to serve others. And as we celebrate Pride Month, I find myself thinking about the many different ways that community can change lives. Sometimes community looks like a friend who tells you that you belong. Sometimes it looks like a support group where you can be yourself. I'm finishing, I promise. Sometimes it looks like a healthcare provider who listens, affirms your identity, and treats you with dignity. And sometimes it looks like a congregation that chooses to support organizations working to ensure that everyone has access to care and which welcomes everyone who comes to their congregation. Your support today is a statement that healthcare matters. It is a statement that every person deserves dignity, compassion, and the opportunity to thrive. And on behalf of Planned Parenthood Keystone, I thank you for your generosity, your partnership, and your commitment to justice and belonging. Thank you for standing with us, and thank you for helping shape a world where all people can live authentically, receive the care that they need, and celebrate who they are with pride. Happy Pride Month.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm going to go off script a little bit here. I would just like to take a few minutes to sincerely and earnestly, I'm not going to cry, thank everyone who came out yesterday to help make Pride an amazing experience, and to everyone who worked really hard to organize and plan and came at 8:30 this morning to set up for our LGBT Pride Party. So thank you all for all of your hard work. It means the world. And with that, we hope you'll stay today after the service for our LGBT party from 11:30 to 2:30, featuring a high tea style coffee hour and festive refreshments in our carriage house, a beautiful exhibit featuring local student pride brick artwork, a family-friendly open mic on our labyrinth, picnics and activities on our lawn, a healing sound bath in our sunroom, and more. Whether you identify with the Pride community as an ally or simply want to celebrate joy and inclusion, we hope you will join us. Please make sure to note all the important announcements listed on the back of our order of service. Scan the QR codes with your phone for more events, activities, updates, and information for newcomers. Whoever you are, whomever you love, we are glad your faith journey brought you here today. The mission of this congregation is to nurture a loving community, inspire lifelong spiritual and personal growth, and act for a better world. We welcome all of you joining in person or online. If you are joining us for the first time, we invite you to visit our welcome desk to fill out a newcomer card or send an email to welcome@uucy.org so that we might get to know you. Let us now mark this time made sacred by our presence by taking a collective breath. Again, thank you all. Why?
Blessed are you, awakener, life of all worlds, who remove sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids.
Blessed are you, generous creatrix, who stretches forth the earth upon the waters.
Blessed are you, sacred flame, who shines your light upon everyone and everything.
Blessed are you, wings of gold, who crowns my people, all people, with splendor.
Blessed are you, holy fashion designer, who delights in the way we dress ourselves as altars.
Blessed are you, nameless and infinite, who has made us in your image and reminds us that all bodies are sacred and holy. Boom, boom.
Blessed are you, liberation worker, who moves us to stretch and expand towards freedom.
Blessed are you, divine apple orchard, who delights in my delight and receives my pleasure as praise.
Blessed are you, the way, who meets me where I am.
Blessed are you, holy breath, who fills me with this gift every day.
Blessed are you, abundance, for helping me remember I have everything I need.
Blessed are you, source of life, who I draw upon for strength, and who reminds me that rest is a sacred act.
Blessed are you, fabulous one, who loves me just as I am.
Blessed are you, weaver of being, who shaped the human being with wisdom, making for us all of the openings and vessels of the body. It is known that we are miracles, and that all bodies are miracles.
Blessed are you, you of many names, for revealing infinite paths of healing.
Blessed are you,
You of many names,
for revealing
infinite paths of healing.
healing.
As Tori Azaro and Autumn Lau come forward to light our chalice, the symbol of our living tradition here in the sanctuary, you are also invited to light a candle or chalice of your own if you are joining us remotely. This morning, I offer words entitled A Protest and a Party by Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. People sometimes ask, is pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are? So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter, bring your Supreme Court broken heart, bring your rainbow socks, bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit, tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here, to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let's worship together. We now invite you to rise to join in singing our opening song.
For many of us, and we will sing it 3 times through. We've given you the words in your order of service, and we hope you catch on very soon. It's called Here Together. We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. I think today calls for a little extra wind chime, don't you? Today, we celebrate life and bless our belonging with our annual Stardust blessing, which we did yesterday at York County Pride for hundreds, possibly more than hundreds.
We ran out of glitter.
We ran out of glitter. This blessing is a sacred recognition of the beauty inherent in every person. And the Stardust blessing that we use, the verbiage, is inspired by the work of my colleague, Reverend Caitlin Cotter-Koilberg, in an edited volume called Blessing It All, Rituals for Transition and Transformation. This ritual is intended for everyone of all gender identities, sexual orientations, and expressions. It is for each of you who are ready to receive a blessing.
Glitter has long been another symbol for the LGBTQ movement of gritty, sparkly hope in the face of prejudice and oppression, of joy and pride shining in the face of hatred and bigotry. Glitter is resilient and tenacious. The briefest beam of sunlight causes it to shine out, even in the dustiest and dreariest of spaces. And its beauty comes from its brokenness. Glitter sparkles because it is many different broken pieces coming together, changing in every moment as the light changes.
The shared values of Unitarian Universalist faith affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and they call us not only to honor one another's humanity, but also to practice a love so expansive that it refuses to abandon anyone in times of fear, exclusion, or struggle. In this moment, when our LGBTQIA+ siblings are increasingly being othered and targeted, we are called to bear witness to a love that is stronger than hate through radical kindness, courageous connection, and communities that embody the sacred practice of radical welcome and blessing.
The glitter and sparkly star stickers that we will share today are reminders that each of us is beautiful in our sacred imperfection, our ever-changing selves, and our glorious multiplicity.
As Lisa and Daniel prepare to share some musical selections, you are invited to come forward. The ushers will help invite you by row, and we also want you to show us where on your face or your arm or your hand or wherever you want this blessing, the tangible. It can be a glitter smudge, it can be a sticker. And then we will stand with you for a moment and offer you some words, and you can circle back to your seat. If you do not feel able to come forward this morning and wish to receive a blessing where you are, please let us know, let someone on your aisle know, and one of us will come to you.
If you are joining us today on Zoom, we invite you to type words of blessing directly into the chat for yourselves and for each other. Help us create a written record of this ritual.
Let us begin.
glitter. You are made of stardust. Stardust. Full, holy, and loved. Thanks for the way you shine your light. Thank you. Yes. Sticker or glitter? Glitter? Oh, this is the best part of my day. Hi, Rainbow. Rainbow, you are whole, holy, and good. You are made of stardust. Uh-oh. Well. You like glitter? Thank you for shining your light onto this world. You are made of stardust. As we come to the close of this ritual, look around at all the beautiful, shining faces that surround you. At the amazing thing that is our blessed bodies gathered in this sacred space together. Every single body in this space and on Zoom and beyond is a holy thing. Every person is a sacred being created of stardust. So take a moment just to marvel at how extra glittery we are today, how fabulous we are. Sit with the immensity of space and time and the explosion of stars, and also this moment right here, right now, with all the atoms collected in this room. We are blessed. We are blessed. Amen. May it be so. The composer of our responsive hymn, How Could Anyone Ever Tell You, is Libby Roderick, an Alaskan singer-songwriter and poet and activist and teacher. And this song has been used around the world in spaces where people needed to honor and be reminded of their own wholeness. So today we'll sing it 3 times through. The first time, maybe sing it to learn it or remember it. The second time, think about the people around you. Think about someone you would sing it to. And the third time, you get to make the list. Sing it to yourself, if you can. How could anyone? Yeah.
Anyone
We dedicate time in our service every week to address what we call matters of the heart. We center our hearts and minds and bodies in community, and we light a candle for each joy, each sorrow, for small moments of happiness and deepening concerns that reside within our hearts. All are welcome to share with us anytime on our website by writing a note and placing it on the pulpit before worship begins, or our folks tuning in online today can type directly into the chat, and I will do my best to have it read aloud. I'd like to invite Tori and Autumn, if they're willing, to come forward again and help us light candles for these matters of our heart. We light a candle of care for all those navigating invisible challenges, be it disability, illness, addiction. May they feel seen, held, and supported on their journeys. We light a candle of memory for the 49 lives lost in the shooting at Pulse nightclub 10 years ago, and for all those whose lives were forever changed by that act of violence. May we honor their memory by recommitting ourselves to love, belonging, and the sacred work of building a world free from hatred. We light a candle of appreciation for the many hands and hearts who offer their gifts of service. Katie and Buster for greeting us at the door, Diane and Robbie for offering warmth at our welcome desk, Connie for providing beautiful flowers, Steve and Lynn for serving as ushers, Patty and Carla for counting our collection, those managing the grocery gift card sales that benefit our community, Marta and so many others in the kitchen brewing our coffee, and Joel, Doug, and Sarah for keeping us online all over the world. May all those whose labors remain unnamed feel held by our expansive gratitude and forgive us for our omissions. May we increase our awareness of all the invisible ways we share in this sacred work. Light one final candle for all that remains unspoken. It may feel too large or too small, but we carry it with you, even if the words never come. We honor all that we carry within us and know that the flame of our faith kindled here resides within us also at all times. So may it ever be. Thank you. We've got the shimmering of stardust and the glow of humble flames lit for the tender places in our hearts. And I'm reminded that belonging is not something that we find by accident. It is something that we make possible together. This month, we've been exploring the spiritual theme of flourishing together. And last week, we talked about courage to become. This week, we engaged the Stardust blessing as a ritual to bless our belonging. Several members of our congregation generously shared some thoughts with me about what's on their hearts during this Pride season, and I owe a debt of gratitude to Nova and Janelle and Tori for sharing their stories of love and fear, gratitude, resilience, authenticity, and hope. Their words have stayed with me as their lives and all our lives are sacred texts. Nova spoke of carrying fear for the future, fear for healthcare, for family, for children, for what it means when your very existence is questioned. And in the same holy breath, he spoke of gratitude, gratitude for family, for spiritual community, and for all the LGBTQIA plus folks who came before him and made it possible to live more freely today. Janelle shared a longing for gentleness in rough times. She spoke of tenderness and compassion, of needing reminders to rest, of wanting permission to be enough even when she does not feel like enough. And boy, does that phrase echo in my soul, permission to be enough. I know many of us carry that same longing because while this service today is centered on LGBTQIA lives and experiences, I suspect the ache beneath those words is deeply human. We live in a culture that constantly asks us to prove ourselves and justify and define ourselves and explain ourselves. We're taught that worthiness is something to be earned. But the Stardust blessing tells a different story. It says that worthiness is not earned. It says that before you accomplish anything, before you convince anyone, before you explain yourself or defend your existence, you are already beloved. Parker Palmer writes that the soul is like a wild animal, and it doesn't reveal itself when pursued or corrected or forced. It emerges when it's welcomed. And reading these reflections, I was struck by how many of our LGBTQIA siblings were not asking to be fixed or even celebrated as much as they were asking to be seen, to be met with gentleness and deep listening and the freedom to show up authentically. To flourish together and bless our belonging is not simply about welcoming people through the door with rainbow signage and balloon arches, although the donation from York Pride Festival certainly sends a message this morning. Blessing each other with belonging is about loving people enough to make room for who they truly are. And that kind of love carries responsibility. As I read these reflections, I found myself thinking about the UU Welcoming Congregation program. We, 25 years ago, launched that program as a faith tradition, and I know that this congregation was one of the first to sign on. And some people assume in many congregations that they are welcoming because they say they are, or because they have a rainbow flag, or maybe because they have a visibly queer minister with a wife on the front row and a dog named Rainbow. But the mere presence of LGBTQIA people is not proof of welcome. The flourishing of these folks is evidence of belonging. It's evidence of a community's ongoing commitment to welcome. And the wisdom of the welcoming congregation movement in Unitarian Universalism clarifies that welcome is not an identity, it's a practice, a living, breathing tradition, just like our Stardust blessing. It's something we do and we keep doing. It asks us to return again to those questions like, who feels safe here? Who feels seen? Who feels heard? Who feels free to show up authentically here? And those questions are never answered in completion. They're answered in worship and learning, in one-on-one relationships, in leadership, in advocacy, in our willingness to listen when someone tells us about an experience that's different from our own. When that practice of blessing our belonging is genuine, people do more than survive. They flourish. We flourish together. So when I read these reflections, I realized that our work is not actually to decide whether or not we are welcoming. Welcome and belonging are not things we achieve and then check off a list. Our work is to listen carefully enough to become more welcoming tomorrow than we are today. That is the invitation. That is the call to accountability. And that's also the blessing. The real blessing is that we are all made of stardust, whole, holy, good, and loved. And we get to do this sacred work together, over and over again, with courage, humility, curiosity, and love. Blessed be. May it be so, and amen.
Thank you. We now invite you into a spirit of generosity as we collect our weekly offering. Each month, we commit to share our collection with a community organization that upholds our values. This month, our Share the Plate partner is Planned Parenthood Keystone, who many may know as an organization that provides and promotes access to essential reproductive health care services. We appreciate Jonathan's presence with us this morning, as he shared earlier, that Planned Parenthood Keystone also provides gender-affirming hormone therapy for patients who are transgender, non-binary, and gender expansive. I have personally used their services in the past. Every service is provided through an affirming, non-judgmental, and uplifting lens. Whether it is access to birth control, STI testing, or prevention tools such as PEP and PrEP, all of Planned Parenthood Keystone services are available for the LGBTQ community, regardless of their gender assignment, identity, or expression. We are grateful for their life-giving and life-affirming work. The ushers will now collect the offering. If this is your first time visiting with us, please feel free to let the basket pass you by. Your presence is a gift. Please join us in extinguishing our chalice and your home chalices, if you have lit them, with the words printed in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you for staying. We've gone what some might call long, but I'm going to call pride time. Yes, we take the time that we need to bless each other, to receive the blessing, and I hope that you receive as you go the deep knowing in your heart that you matter and you belong, like they sang for us. May you hold on to the hope that your inner sparkle, even when discouragement and despair beckon. May the beauty that is you shine out, bright as the stars from which we came and to which we will return. Together, we will make this a place of welcome and healing, of connection and plurality. Together, may we practice compassion and courage, seeing and celebrating and supporting each other. Together, may we be the sparkling force of love that our world needs. Blessed by this community and blessed by the divine, go forth and celebrate with pride. May it be so, and amen. Now, I understand that Diane has a special sending song for us today, so I'm going to ask Nova and myself to go find a seat among you to receive this blessing of music.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Folk singer-songwriter Janice Ian wrote this after she married her partner in 2003. Back then, there were no state-sanctioned gay marriages in the United States. So they did what I imagine a lot of gay couples did. They went to Canada. And when she tells this story, she talks about what a strange experience it was to go to Canada to be married. And from everyone they shared their story with about why they were there, they received nothing but cheers and heartfelt congratulations and a wide, radical welcome. And then they had to come back home to Tennessee to live. Fortunately, the next year in 2004, the first state-sanctioned marriages were performed in San Francisco, and that same year, Minnesota became the first state to legalize gay marriage. And as we know, state after state followed suit until finally, and not a moment too soon, in 2015, the Supreme Court made gay marriage legal in every state. But as we know, privileges and rights given can be challenged and can be taken away. So I sing this song to remind us that freedom and equality are not free. They require ongoing advocacy, ongoing vigilance to make sure that what once was never is again. And for those of you who think that just because I live with David, that those amazing guitar skills are just going to seep into my fingers through osmosis, you'll be disappointed. We're married in London, but not in New York. Spain says we're kosher, the States say we're pork. We wed in Toronto, the judge said amen. But when we got home, we were single again. It's hard being married and living in sin. Sometimes I forget just what state I am in. Thank God I'm not Catholic, I'd be a mess, trying to figure out what to confess. My passport in Sweden says I've got a wife. Amsterdam tells me I'm partnered for life. But back in America, land of the free, I'm a threat to the national security. If I were a frog, like Kermit, here's what I'd say. It's hard being green, it's hard being gay, and lesbian, and bisexual, I'm updating the song, and transgender, and asexual, and non-binary, and questioning. Particularly at the socio-political moment in our nation's history. Under the current administration of they who shall not be named. But nevertheless, love has no color and hearts have no sex. So love where you can and forget all the rest.